What's up, everybody? My name is Trevor Fonstrom, and I would like to welcome you to the Athlete Life Podcast. This is the first in our series on how social media impacts professional athletes. We will discuss how social media can impact a player's mental approach, how it can affect relationships with teammates and coaches, and later I will have a special guest on the show, a former 15th round draft pick and current minor league baseball player, who will be discussing how social media has impacted his career. So stay tuned in because you do not want to miss it. Social media runs our world. Twitter has 330 million active users. Instagram has 1 billion active users. That's a whole lot of people. So are athletes part of those numbers? You bet. Social media is a great way for people to interact with their favorite sports stars. These pro athletes have accumulated thousands, even millions of followers over time. Popularity is something that most people strive for in today's age, but it comes with repercussions. A big part of an athlete's success comes from their mental approach. Having routines and creating positive thoughts are just some strategies that athletes implement into their game day activities. So what happens when they open their phone and see a hurtful message from an opposing fan on Twitter? That can be enough to disrupt their flow and destroy the athlete's preparation. Athletes are put on a pedestal when they join social media, yet no one is ever perfect. Sure, social media has been a great way for athletes to grow their brands, but the way that some athletes have carried themselves in the past has backfired on them. Take Milwaukee Brewers pitcher Josh Hader, who was the center of controversy after offensive tweets that he posted back in high school circulated in 2018. This was enough to damage Hader's reputation, and although he's still in the big leagues, people may not look at him the same. So while social media has made a good impact on players in regards to further cementing their popularity and their brand, it has done a lot to bring athletes down as well. The key to the perfect balance is simply knowing limitations. As an athlete, you must know when to be on your phone and when not to be. You also have to know what is okay to say and what is not okay to say. It's all about being smart, because nothing on the internet ever truly goes away. Now I'm pleased to have a former teammate and a good friend of mine on the podcast, Jack Suwinski. Jack is an outfielder in the San Diego Padres organization. How you doing today, Jack?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming on today.
Always.
So what I really wanted to talk to you about was the relationship that professional athletes like you have with social media. So I'm going to start by asking, how does social media, what fans are saying on Twitter, what reporters are saying about you in the news, how does that impact your mental approach to games?
I think with everything going on and how, all athletes are basically on social media now and all fans are on social media now, it's you can kind of see whatever you want to see. I mean, if someone is talking down on you or if someone's talking good about you, you kind of see what you want to get out of it. Because there's so much activity on there nowadays with the different generations being on there. I mean, you could really find anything you want. You could find people who don't like you, who like you, but at the end of the day, you just really take away what you want to take away and see what you want to see.
Okay, so there is always that chance to see negativity on Twitter. I mean, there's always trolls on Twitter and social media all the time. So in terms of your transition from the off season to baseball season, did your use of social media change between the off season and baseball season?
I wouldn't say it changes too much. Maybe sometimes it's good to get away from social media during the season to focus on what you're doing in person and what you're doing in terms of your career. But I also think at the same time, social media can be used productively. If you do need like a little break from the field, because we're playing so many games, we're doing so much baseball activity and everyone's always kind of grinding, going through the grind. It's kind of nice to like get out and see what else is going on in the world and like escape from that a little bit. So it has, I mean, its benefits and disadvantages, but yeah, I think it's good. I like to stay kind of active. I'm not a big poster, but I'll use it to kind of get away from things like at the end of the day, or whether we're on a long bus ride. It kind of helps you escape just a little bit.
Right. Well, it's good that you mentioned the positives that can come from social media, because one thing that a lot of people don't know about you is that you actually made SportsCenter top 10 plays back in 2017. So what was it like being featured on there?
That was really cool. I remember the play. We were in Dayton, Ohio. It was a good play. I made a pretty good play, and then I didn't even realize that it was being posted until I started getting a few notifications, and then next thing I knew, I just went and saw that video. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, just seeing yourself on a on a website like SportsCenter, just to see like a play you made. You know, it feels pretty good. It's pretty cool.
Right. And well, you're also verified on Twitter and Instagram, obviously being a pro athlete. How cool is that? And how did that whole thing work? Did it just sort of happen, or did they reach out to you, or how did that work?
It was kind of a mix between real and fake, just because with so many athletes nowadays, you'll see fake accounts, fake things, fake news, especially with social media. Like going back to what we talked about, I mean, you kind of find on there what you're looking for, and like there's so many fake accounts that anyone could kind of impersonate anybody on there. So a big thing with our organization is, you know, keeping things real and keeping things true, and keeping that social media, you know, pretty clean, keep it professional, as we say, and just having that verification kind of keeps us in check, in line a little bit, you know, making sure that no one is really trying to be you, or make a page about you trying to be you, and then next thing you know, they're posting a bunch of garbage, and it kind of slanders your name a little bit. It's a bad look.
Right. And you talk about the idea of being professional and showing that portraying yourself as a professional on social media. And so that really ties into my next question. You being an active YouTube creator and you're also an athlete, are you limited as to what you can and can't post?
Yeah, I think there's limitations, but I think that goes without being said in this career. You do want to, you know, you have a wide variety of people watching you and checking up on you and what you're doing on and off the field. So everyone's really watching. You really don't want to be posting a whole lot of garbage, because at the end of the day, that's not what you want to have people remember you by. What you want it to be by, like what you do on the field, how you play on the field, and how you are as a person off the field. I think that even speaks greater than what you are doing on the field. So yeah, there is a little bit of like a, you know, way to go about it. Obviously, like you don't want to take away all of the creativity from it, but just being safe about it, and like knowing your limits.
Right. Especially when you have so many young athletes looking up to you, you got young fans and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, exactly.
and that definitely ties into my next question, which is what is one piece of advice that you would give to young athletes about how they should present themselves on social media if they're looking to continue their careers into the collegiate level and hopefully the professional level?
Yeah, I think, I mean, you know, you hear it all the time. It's a cliche, but you hear dress for the job you want. And it starts on social media. You know, you see so many athletes nowadays who finally get their big shot, their big break. And what happens is someone goes and picks their account from 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, and they made one silly post as a high school or young kid, you know, that they really didn't know any better, and then that comes back and it bites them, and it kind of ruins that opportunity. So I would say just act like you're already there. Be smart about it. Just think before you do anything, because once it goes out there, it doesn't come back, and it's different once you get to that point. But just making sure you're being professional about it, even if you are a young high school player, college player. I mean, everyone's on social media. Those coaches who are going to recruit you, those scouts who are going to scout you. parents, friends, your family, all those people, all those coaches are on there. And you see, sometimes you hear about it all the time. Some kids don't get those chances because of past mistakes they've made online. They're just silly mistakes.
Yep. All right. Well, that's awesome. And thank you for taking the time to come on and chat with me, Jack. I wish you the best moving forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Make sure to go follow Jack on Twitter at Jack Sawinski and follow him on Instagram as well, Jackson_William8 over there as well. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Athlete Life Podcast. Make sure to check in next time when we will be discussing social media from the aspect of coaches, and we will hear from coaches themselves weighing in on the subject. As always, stay safe and stay healthy.